Hey everybody, welcome to Kiss.
Keep it simple, sister.
And we're back for another episode. Woohoo!
Yay. You guys don't know this, but it's been a while. And then we were together and we were going to do one together, which we tried to do last year too when we were together on our birthdays. And it doesn't work. We can't do that.
No, there's too much going on. It's always very eventful. We won't talk about that though.
Okay.
No, because that would just be like depressing. And we want to be upbeat. No, we had a good time. We did have
Yes,
a good time
we
for our
did.
birthdays.
We always do. There's always a some sort of monkey wrench thrown into the thing, but then we throw the monkey wrench back out and then we just have fun.
Yeah, I like that. You see a big monkey wrench coming in. Anyway,
Yeah.
okay, so today, oh yeah, first I'm forgetting the spiel. Let me give you all the spiel in case you don't know.
If you're
So
new here.
yes, so the KISS podcast, we're all about sharing the tips, tricks, techniques, and the products that Diana and I have rummaged through, sourced out, resourced, found from other people, discarded, picked up again, whatever you want to call it. We've been through it all. But we're still continually finding new things. But what isn't new for us is the idea that when we pay attention to our emotions, when we focus on staying like in that higher vibe space, when our
Hmm.
true north is that positivity, that we're able to move through life so much more easily. We have more of the resources to deal when things are tough and all that kind of stuff. And so
Right,
that's the stuff that we talk about and that we want to let you in on the conversation, basically, right?
right. And the tips and tricks are things that you can do, but we've also found some things that some supplements that help us feel good, which if you physically feel good, then it's easier to be in a higher vibes state. It's easier to have that positivity and be able to react to things that come flying your way a little bit easier.
Yeah. Well, so today, yeah, the topic today, we are going to talk about supplements. Um, because it's if you're trying to be in a high vibe space, but you're constantly putting crap in your body, and we all know, we've all heard this, right? That, our environment is toxic, from what you wear to what you eat to what you put your hands on to what wash your hair with, all of it. And
And breathe in.
I'm just like, oh my God, that's such a depressing list. But the thing is, it's what is it that Abraham Hicks, she talks about, like, you can find nutrition and be totally fine eating dirt, technically speaking. Like that if your mindset is in a positive way, then, short of, I guess, taking arsenic, but maybe if you take arsenic, you can get through it too. I don't know. I don't advise doing that. That would be stupid.
No.
But well, because there's still the laws of physics we agree on, like within this 3D existence, we
Yeah.
all come in going, this is our template reality. We're all agreeing, sky is blue, grass is green, um, and certain chemical properties will create certain things. And that's kind of like the Play-Doh that we play with and experiment with and then create plastics and housing and whatever else that we want to create. But what Diana and I are going to talk about is, because we've talked about things like, you can think of it as energetic supplements, when you think
Hmm.
about grounding and having the grounding mat. So this today we're going to talk about nutritional supplements.
And if you have not been, if you didn't see where we were talking about the grounding mat, especially now, there's all kinds of funky energy in the air and everywhere. Grounding is even more important than it ever was.
Mhm.
So that wasn't our subject today, but I live in Pennsylvania and it's springtime in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
which means that one day it's 65 and the next day it's 32. Today it happens to be about 46 with no wind, so it's pleasant. It's lovely. But I went out in my bare feet and it was cold. It was cold out, but I felt like I needed that grounding. I needed my feet to be in the grass on the ground
Mhm.
just to help stabilize my mood, my vibe, my everything. And it really does make a huge difference. Now, I do have the grounding sheets that I sleep on, and I do have a grounding mat, which I placed under my computer just the other day. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to ground wherever I can ground. I'm going to ground.
Well, and if you're sitting there in front of it for a couple of hours, you might as well
Yeah.
have something that you're, yeah, like that's really good to do. I don't do that because my cats go under there all the time, and
And
I'm
see,
sure
I don't
they
have
get a
that. So,
yeah.
yeah.
So worry about that kind of stuff. But so yeah, so this topic that we're gonna just chat about today, because understand you guys, we're not medical professionals.
Mm-mm. We don't even play them on TV. We're just going to give you our opinion and our researched opinion. I know for you, you've done a lot of research on supplements and you know a whole lot more about them. And I've learned a lot from you. So I'm excited for us to share.
Yep. Well, I just want to do the disclaimer, any of this kind of stuff we talk about, take what resonates with you, leave the rest behind. Some things will have worked for you, some won't. Everybody's body's different. As always, go talk to your doctor if you have one. Um, it's really hard to get one nowadays.
Yeah, right.
But but just know that that's I guess the legal source that you should talk to. But honestly, if you're asking me, I'll say go to a holistic, or a naturopath kind of doctor.
Right.
And
Functional medicine person, whatever. Yeah.
yeah, get the real deets on things. Um,
Because they have different outlooks and different opinions. And I was the
Different
person
influences.
that I'm sorry, I'm looking at my husband who is staring at me in the thing. I am recording a podcast here, sir. See the red paper?
And this is what it's like.
He said, "You never hear the doorbell, do you?" No, so answer the door.
Oh my
All
goodness.
right, everyone. So, one of the reasons why I
She's like,
need the supplements, the positivity, the grounding, the everything is that there are challenges that fly at me from the beginning of the day till the end of the day. And I explained to Samantha while she was here, she saw some of it in action,
oh yeah.
um, a whole lot of it in action. But I get up with a plan for my day and I never can get anything done because talking about the monkey wrenches flying at me in all different directions.
Yeah, and sometimes there's more monkey wrenches flying in than they you can quickly throw back out again. No, but you shouldn't say you never get stuff done. You get
Oh, I get a lot of things done. It's just not on the timeline and it's not the plan that I make for it.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm
It's
glad you clarified that. I get a
yeah,
lot of things done, but not when I think they're going to happen, which is sad.
yeah. So makes life interesting, doesn't it?
Well, for you and me, I mean, like you're used to it. You like it. I am the plan girl. I'm the teacher. You have the lesson plan. You do it in a certain amount of time. You got to, when you have days off, then you can clean out the closet. You can do all that stuff. So my life before I retired was so surrounded and centered on this chunk of time and this chunk of time and this chunk of time and this chunk of time. So that's how my brain works. It's getting better, but when it's just challenging, it's a challenge.
Okay, so going back to the supplement thing, which
Yes.
this is all actually part of the supplement thing, but
Okay.
anyway, because okay, my personal journey, like, we've all done the yo-yo dieting and like, jumping into what was it, Weight Watchers and
Jenny
um
Craig.
Slim Fast. Do you remember Slim Fast? Like, oh
I
my God,
do remember Slim
I'd have
Fast.
all the different flavors and all that. It's
Yes. And
crazy.
there's a whole bunch of other ones now too, but
Critic and also, well, and all, this is not a conversation about weight loss. What this is a conversation about is um, that we've done so much weird eating over our lifetimes, and food has become less and less nutrient rich.
Yeah.
And the stuff that we've been eating, it's got more. Did you see the thing that just came out about Chick-fil-A? Didn't we talk about
Yes, you
that?
sent that to me because my husband wants to have his short-term memory is failing. And so every day, he doesn't know what day it is. So I have to put it on the board, but every day he wants Chick-fil-A. I mean, he asks me for Chick-fil-A almost on the daily. And I'm like, I like Chick-fil-A. It's okay, but I don't want it every day, every meal, every so we were talking about how busy Chick-fil-A is, how popular it is.
Yes.
And then you sent me the stuff, so tell what it said.
What
It was
and
scary.
I don't remember exactly, but they were talking about how so long ago, like, they were known for having, like, really good chicken, really pure, like, there just wasn't that much additives to it.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
now, I don't know what's changed, but something at some point changed, and somebody looked up what man-made chemicals, not just chemicals, man-made chemicals are in Chick-fil-A food. And I can't remember what the number
It
it was
was a
over
lot,
50,
and it
like,
was addictive. I mean, like, that's what we were trying to talk about, like,
mm,
is it addictive? Like, when you think about it, you've got that whole thing going on in your brain, like,
oh, and
"Oh,
you always think
yeah,
about
Chick-fil-A."
Chick-fil-A on a Sunday.
Absolutely.
Um,
Always.
and that's not to say, "Hey,
They're
don't
not
go."
open on Sunday. Anybody who is not familiar with Chick-fil-A or doesn't know it like we do.
Well, and the thing is, we're not saying don't go and do that. It's not don't ever have a McDonald's, don't ever have whatever, but recognize you don't wanna do it on the daily because
Right.
it's filled with so many additives, man-made chemicals, and it is just not nutrient rich. And so your body's gonna take it in because we're omnivorous.
Mhm.
I want to say omnivorous. Omnivorous.
Well, yes.
That's not incorrect.
Tomato, tomato. You got it.
Yes,
It's good.
okay. Um, thank you.
You're
Eh,
welcome.
so it's we can eat whatever and our body will make the best out of it. It's what it's doing with the stuff that it doesn't know what to do with, that it's throwing into fat cells, and all that kind of stuff, and like, pushing out into your skin. Like, I get a lot of bumps, like, not rashes, but they're just like gross toxic bumps, whenever I
Yeah.
have something that my body's just going, no, no, we don't know what to do with this. And so that's part of my
Well,
journey
and you
of supplementation.
tune into your body and the signs that it's giving. So
Mhm.
many of us don't. We're just like, "Oh, I don't feel good today," and not don't make the association of possible toxins that are in our body from something that we ate or somewhere where we were or whatever.
Well, and what our pregame conversation, I almost started to mention this and then I held off because I'm
Uh-huh.
like, no, I want people to hear what it is we talk about.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say is, and interestingly enough, it started to clear up today. But so I've had this problem with my wrist, and
Mhm. For a
I
while.
yeah, it's been going on for quite a while.
Mhm.
And so over the past couple of weeks, I've just been taking, and I thought I was doing pretty well doing this. I was taking one, I think is it Flexeril or cyclobenzaprine, whatever, a day, one a day, just just to help ease, loosen things up or whatever. And the thing is, it's toxic to my system. Like, I suddenly noticed the inflammation in my body because, like, there was this huge inflammation in my body. My left knee was not bending, like, I couldn't quite bend it, like, at a 90-degree angle even, and I hurt like heck trying to go up and down the stairs. It's like full body inflammation,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going, "Okay, have I had any," like, I have to be very careful. I can't just have regular bread, sourdough is okay, but I can't overdo the sourdough because of the gluten intolerance. Um, and so there's all of this, like, I'm going through my diet going, I haven't had this, I haven't had that. And then I finally realized, oh wait, I've been doing the cyclobenzaprine. And I went off of it. And then going off of it created even a greater effect because now all of a sudden my body's clearing it out, but I was also feeling the pain that it was masking. And
Mm,
so here the inflammation's still in my body. I'm not getting the painkiller kind of effects from it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like a perfect storm. And it's taken me, it usually seems to take about 5 to 6 days. And then I can feel it ease up. Like, it's just so night and day. Like, I
mhm.
can use my leg better now, and I don't feel like my hands are coming apart. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Um, but it's when you're aware of what these things in your environment are doing to you, um, then you start going, okay, what is it my body does need now? And I'm just going to mention there's several good books out right now, like people who are in the holistic field, I guess they're a naturopath or whatever, they're really focusing on the mitochondria. They're saying
Mm,
feed the mitochondria, make that you're not feeding yourself, you're feeding your mitochondria, which is the energy, whatever of your cells, the energy production center. So if you can focus on throwing everything that way, that it will in turn put out the cells necessary and the cellular functions to help your body deal with whatever the environment is throwing at you. Not whatever, but for the most part,
mm.
put you in the best position. So that the one book that I'm thinking of is It's Good Energy. Good Energy by Casey Means. I'm like sitting here going, what is the name of it? Casey Means. And she's amazing. And she used to be a regular doctor doing surgeries and stuff like that and realized, wait, this isn't helping people because they keep presenting with the same problem. So, anyway, what this goes back to is if our food is not nutrient rich, if it's been desaturated, whatever, and then on top of it, we're taking all of these chemicals into our body, but the idea is we need to feed that mitochondria. That brings us all the way back to supplementation. We got to supplement because
Yeah.
an average strawberry does not have what a strawberry had 50 years ago. I
Right.
remember reading that and just going, wow. And if
Well,
you
and the whole genetically modified GMO, um, where in Europe they don't allow that, and they're much, I don't want to say much healthier than we are, but much healthier than we are.
and the food
That
tastes so
whole
much better.
Well, and that whole genetic modification is changing the nutritive value of all of it,
Yep.
everything. And then the chemicals that they put on to keep the bugs off and the eh, herbis pesticides and all the sides. And so when I think we've been talking about it for a while, how much I love moringa, and hold up your moringa.
Oh, yeah, I do a
When
lot
she
of
was
stuff.
drinking, I was like, "What do you got in there?" It's moringa and protein powder, and what else did you put in there?
Almond milk
Almond milk
and
and coconut water.
coconut water, yeah.
Yeah. So both of us drink moringa every day. And what really drew me to the moringa is that I know I don't eat well, even the food that's been modified. So I'm not a big fruit and vegetable person.
Well, you're on the go constantly trying to grab food
Yeah.
when you can. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And I know that's not good for my body. So since I started drinking the moringa, my body craves it. Like it's like, "Oh, now you're giving me what I need."
you can
And
feel,
a-
yeah,
and
feel
I've never really eaten anything like that or even taken a supplement where I felt like the days that I don't or couldn't, maybe I ran out of it. I was like, "Oh man, I don't feel good. I don't feel like I normally do."
it.
So it has that particular supplement, I'm all about it. And Samantha knows how it all works and everything. I don't know I never know how any of it works. But
Well, it's a
if I try it and my
superfood.
body says, "Yes, yes, yes," then I'm going to keep doing it.
Well, and when we talk about any of these kinds of things that are like, when you look up superfoods, and it's always like, oh, here's the next great superfood. I feel like they're just in a cycle. They're just waiting to bring the next one up and say, look at this one.
Well, and they all are superfoods that they're telling us about,
Mhm.
but the next one could be better than the one before, or I don't know. I'm all about combining all those superfoods. Let's go.
Exactly. And you should like I think people would recall um years ago acai.
I know, I never know how to say it either.
Yeah. So that was super.
ACAI, acai, acai. I call it acai, but my daughter
Yeah.
calls it acai, and then she thinks I'm an idiot when I call it acai. So I don't know.
Well, everyone was putting that in like protein shakes, and and now you find it like in not smart water. What is that called? Um, it's not smart water, but the other one. Anyway, one of those kind of not energy drinks, but supplemental drinks.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but so that was a buzzword there for a while, and it's truly good. But what I think, what I'm always looking for. Okay, so let's talk about superfoods here. What I'm always looking for supplements with superfoods is how many of the things can it assist my body with that I'm currently needing that assistance with. L-
mhm,
like, okay, magnesium is not considered a superfood, that is a component, and yet magnesium does a myriad of things in your body, like vitamin D, vitamin
right.
D3. So getting those two things in your body are super important. Now
And
what's
most of us are deficient in both of those.
Yeah, exactly. That's why a lot of women are constipated, and why we get sick real easily. Constipation's from the magnesium, and your ability to catch every single cold that comes past you, just like it's just a whiff going past and you're sick. That's from lack of vitamin D3. I mean,
Yeah,
that's just a huge way to ward off that kind of stuff. But the superfoods will contain those and so much more that you didn't
right,
even think about. And that's what's cool about a superfood is that when you take it, all of a sudden you go, "Oh, I'm not having a problem with this anymore,"
right.
because your body's receiving that supplementation that your normal diet just had no clue about.
Well, and in the book that you were just talking about, does
Good
she talk?
energy. Mhm.
Yeah, good energy. Is she talking about the superfoods and the supplements that help feed your mitochondria?
Yeah, she gets very, very specific about it.
Uh-huh.
She doesn't sit there and go, "Oh, well," she does recommend, certain foods to focus on. I don't recall if she says, "Hey, do moringa or do," but she's very much into the salts, the minerals, like
Mhm.
potassium, magnesium, all that kind of stuff,
Uh-huh.
and vitamin D3 and a whole bunch of other things. But she explains what I like about it is that she explains how your body functions and gets down to that mitochondria and then explains how it needs assistance. Like when you get personal and you suddenly understand what that little thing in you is doing, all of a sudden it becomes like your BFF and you're going, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm not nurturing you in a way that you can really give me what I need." It
Right.
seriously changes your relationship with your body, with your cells. Doesn't mean you're not going to still go out and have a bag of popcorn, um, but with lots of butter. But but you realize, okay, what do I need to feed it? What do I need to give it so that it's giving me the best? So yeah, I would
And it
say it's an
affects
excellent primer.
everything from your sleep, your energy levels, your, like you said, your inflammation, like all of those things are affecting how we live our lives. And so when you address those
Mhm.
through supplements, nutrition, all that, you can live a better life. You can have the energy, have the focus, have the, I don't even know what else,
Well,
to help you deal with the stressors that come at you.
so here's an interesting one, is that so there are times, I mean, we know anxiety is a huge thing, right? But anxiety isn't just psychological forces. And that's the thing. Everybody thinks it's outside. outside of you, you can't control and all that kind of stuff. However, um, when your body is not getting quite what it needs, it goes into a state that feels uncomfortable, alarming, whatever,
The
and
fight
we
or
take
flight.
it yeah, we take it as it's outside of us, something outside of us, but no, it's actually that we're not giving our body something it needs. We're not that goes back to soothing the vagus nerve, which we've been
Yeah.
talking a little bit about lately, and reading about and studying about and getting to know because it's become like the focus in science right now. They're really focusing on the vagus nerve. But when your body like I notice it especially when potassium when I don't have enough potassium in my body, I will feel kind of shaky, unsettled, and I'm just like, God, what is going on? And so the thing is you become accustomed to these feelings because you're if you're not in tune with your body, you become accustomed and you're like a nervous ball of energy and you don't recognize that it's really that you're not your body's begging you for something, you're not putting that in your body. And if you are supplementing and getting yourself up so that you're into an even keel with what your body's been lacking, that would take away so much of that anxiety.
Well, you know what
It's
I found out too? So I'm a type A person. And I don't know, I mean, they used to say type A. Blah, blah, blah. What type A is anxiety. And it's just how you
hmm,
express or deal with that anxiety,
okay.
right? And I just think that that epiphany for me was like, okay, now what do I need to do to calm myself, calm my nervous system, calm my and so that leads us right to the vagus nerve. So, a lot of the tips and tricks that we've been giving as far as grounding and meditating and
Mhm.
breathing and, all of those things are affecting your vagus nerve.
Yep.
And if you're good at it, then that's great. But it doesn't come naturally to so many of us, especially we anxiety type A people. Um,
Well, if you go to the doctor, what does the doctor say? I got
Here's
the
some
pill.
Prozac for you.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
Wellbutrin, whatever.
They're not asking, like the holistic approach. They're not
Right.
looking at what is it you're not doing, not giving yourself or whatever. So then you're masking and you're not actually taking care of the very issue.
Yep.
Well, and the other thing I thought of, if you're type A and you're working off of that nervous tension, you're also burning up more and you guys again, I'm not a scientist or doctor or whatever, but I know that it's burning off. I can't remember if it's your B vitamins that coat your nerves, and if your nerves aren't properly coated, think about when you've had too much to drink and you wake up the next day and you have a hangover, and that's because the alcohol burns through your B vitamins and your nerves are just like you don't have that same level of protection around your nerve endings, and that's why light and just touch and you just feel so uncomfortable in your body. And one of the biggest remedies is to like just take a B vitamin and stick it under your tongue and suck on it, or take a B vitamin shot, that's
Somebody taught me that when I was in college.
yeah, those important things. Well, but so you're not drinking alcohol necessarily. Maybe you are to calm yourself. But that nervous energy is also burning through a lot more of those, you know, minerals, vitamins and minerals in your body that are doing key functions.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing anything to feed back into it other than having a glass of wine, um, you're just like we're so we come into this world and we're so unaware of how our body works. Like as a kid, you naturally go, "Oh, I'm going to have this and I'm going to have this because this is what my body's craving." And then those signals get so screwed around so quickly, and then we spend the rest of the time listening to authorities outside of our body, and nobody's saying, "How's your body feeling? Where are you feeling it in your body? What have you eaten lately?
Mhm.
What
Mhm.
what have you had too much of or not enough?" And if you ask those questions, it's yeah, you have to be your own detective.
Hmm.
You have to do the work, otherwise you're throwing your body over to science to play with. And yeah,
And
they're not
so
your
many
body. They
people,
don't care about you.
well, and do we have so many of us, do we have time to focus on that? Or do we take the time to focus on that?
Exactly. And is there time? Come on. In your
Right.
life, do you
Nope.
find there's nope. So we go back to supplements. You want to try to find those superfoods that are going to offer you as much benefit as you possibly can, get into your body so that you can get through your day.
Right. Well, and one that I've been using and you have too is the moringa.
Mhm.
And so you can find that in our link for our life activated brands. I think the link
There's a
said.
link down below in the description, or you can reach out. Like if you come to YouTube, you'll see it. If you see this somewhere else, just reach out to one of us.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get you the info.
Yeah.
But there's something new that I want to talk about.
Okay.
But wait, there's more. Going back to, we've done all the Jenny Craig and the Weight Watchers and the, when you carry around extra fat,
Hmm.
it affects not only your mood, but your ability to move, um, your ability to work out, not want to work out. And so many of us have kind of focused in on, well, I want to look better. I want to look better. But really, when you're looking better, you're feeling better.
Hmm.
And that's what the most important thing is, I think.
Is how you feel.
So I'm always and have been on this thing trying to find something natural, not what was it? Fennerman or Fetterman,
Phentermine.
phentermine, and like all of those different things that would speed up your metabolism supposedly, but they all have some kind of funky side effect, and I'm not willing to deal with any of that. But I would like to be able to move better. I would like to be able to feel like I have more energy and that I can deal with the stressors in life a little bit better. So
Mhm.
I'm kind of always looking for that sort of a supplement. And we found one, that we're trying to figure out right now, how it is. But I've been using it for about 3 weeks, and I feel a huge difference in my calmness. And I think it affects the vagus nerve, which all of our things that, I can't meditate. I can't. I want to. I just can't. Now I can take a walk and I can be in nature, and if that's what you want to call it, but I cannot and meditate. I just can't. But I feel like these drops that we're doing, it kind of gets my mind into that state
Mhm.
because it's affecting my vagus nerve,
Mhm.
supposedly, allegedly.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're saying seems to be the end results. But there's a myriad of benefits from these drops.
Right.
Yeah.
But that one is the most important one to me.
Well,
I
because
want to be able to focus. I want to
yeah,
be able
if
to
you
have
can be
energy.
relaxed, then you can make decisions accordingly. In that, you're not out of control.
Right. You're not in the fight and flight. You're more homeostasis where your body's okay, I'm okay, you're okay, we're okay. We're
Mhm.
it makes it so much easier to deal with things, I think.
Yeah.
So the new product is called Fix, Pix,
Yeah.
which I think is kind of cool because it fixes you.
Yeah.
But it's mature hops, which I didn't know anything about mature hops,
Hmm.
but these mature hops help burn fat, burn visceral fat.
Well,
By,
yeah, go ahead.
you tell it.
Well, I was going to say, let's explain what visceral fat is.
Okay.
That is, we're talking about adipose tissue.
Yes, the
It's
fat that is under the muscle around all around your
organs.
vital organs. Yeah.
Yeah. And that particular fat is the hardest to burn, and it is the single most important thing that you are That's the fat that's containing most of the toxins. And that's the stuff that is, think about it, it's all around your organs,
Mhm.
so
And your
that
body doesn't know what to do with them, so they're like, "All right, well, let's stick it over in these fat cells."
Mhm.
But they're closest to your heart, they're closest to your kidneys, they're closest, all your vital organs.
Well, and then when you do like, we talk about the semi-glute, the GLP ones and stuff.
Uh-huh.
That's helping you lose fat real quickly. But that is also, it's also muscle.
Uh-huh.
And you're losing it. It's not the visceral fat that you're losing. You're losing all of the easy to reach, like the low hanging fruit kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And you're losing it so fast that your body doesn't have the opportunity to do the cellular processes to tighten up the skin to release naturally. So there's a lot of people who find that they have saggy skin
Right.
and other metabolic issues after they've been doing GLP-1. Not everybody, but you take it long enough, you can go out there and research it and see,
Mhm.
but it's kind of a disturbing trend. It's
Yeah.
great for people who need it right away for very important reasons, but the gold um the gold standard is to be able to reach that visceral fat. And see, I learned about this is so funny. I learned about this about 15, 20 years ago. And that was part of the whole thing, like when oh, what's his name? Will, not Willem. I was thinking your guy, Willem.
Woman.
No, the guy, Wellman, the guy who does the cold baths, he gets in the
Yeah, I don't know who he is, but I know what you're talking about.
you get in the freezing baths and stuff like that. Well, the offshoot of that, the benefit of that is that it is going for your adipose tissue. It's going for that visceral fat, right?
Mhm.
So it's attacking or not attacking, it's utilizing that because it's trying to keep your organs warm and it's having to burn off that stuff around your organs. Like anyway, it does amazing. So somebody came up with the idea of, well, if that works, instead of having to get into cold bath, here's a cold vest. So I
Mhm.
used to wear a cold vest because here's the idea. It's cold all around the most important parts of your body. So it'd be getting into that visceral because that's where most of your visceral fat is and your torso area.
Mhm.
Anyway, and so I started to learn about all of that at that point. And that's one of the reasons I was interested when you brought up about fix, was that they were focused on that. Like there was a
Yes.
benefit.
It triggers your thermogenesis,
Hmm.
which is what's happening when you get in that ice bath. Your body is trying to heat everything up.
Hmm.
And so that's one of the things that these mature hops will do. The other thing is the bitter. It enacts the bitterness centers, and that's what stimulates your vagus nerve, I believe.
Hmm.
I think I'm right about that.
Yeah, and I've heard about the effects of bitters in so many different things, but I've never really gone down that research hole.
Mhm.
But like I know, what is it, black walnut that's really good to deal with. Well, it's really what it's doing is, I guess, well, okay, really, I don't really know. It's my understanding is that it's good to take for supposedly for cancer. Um, but it's good to take because it's getting rid of like parasites and stuff in your body, and it's really bitter. And you
Mhm.
don't want to try to make it sweet. You want to take like the whole idea is the bitter center. Like you want to take the stuff that is bitter to affect those centers in your body so they in turn do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, do what they're naturally supposed to do to get rid of toxins and get rid of bad stuff.
Hmm.
Um, the thing that I love about this fix stuff is it's a dropper of liquid that you put into anything that you drink. So it could be water, could be tea, could be whatever, and it gets into your digestive system, and something about those bitter receptors get everything moving. Um, so I I never understand anything about anything, and Samantha always understands everything about everything, and I just am okay with jumping in, trying it, seeing what my body does. And when my body is happy, I'm happy to tell other people about it. And some people are all about the science and the studies and all those things, which they're all there.
Mhm.
But I just know I use it and it's helping me.
Yeah, and I wanna understand the why, but it's not I don't need to understand every single study, but I need to understand, what the overall benefit is. For me, it's been a journey of, coming into adulthood and finally realizing, "Oh my god, I've been ADD my whole life." That's been my main focus is what I can do to assist myself with ADD. And I found testosterone. Women tend to have less testosterone when you get older. I
Mhm.
think I've been pretty deficient most of my life. And the difference of taking a cream like is amazing. And then when we came across, the lab products that activate has been like, dear God, like let me not go a day without it. And if
And
I,
it's a nootropic, it just helps your brain function.
mhm.
And the fix does the same thing.
Yes, so I am going off of, oh my God, like I'm so nervous doing
I
this.
can't wait to see how it affects you.
Yeah,
I
and
hope
how
that
long
it
it takes for it to uptake into that, but I'm going to, just do the transition and see if fix is going to stay, because I know when I'm on, when I'm focused.
uh-huh.
And I can when I take the nootropic, it takes me about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, and I'm like, whoa, night and day difference.
Mhm.
So, but this, we were talking about this, that you're noticing that like it stays in your body, like it's assisting your body to do what it needs to do. So it's not like you take it and then there's the result. It's kind of an ongoing cleanup, cleansing process. Like, don't ever think of supplements as, oh, I'm going to take it for, 30 days, fix the problem and whatever. No, these are lifetime choices.
Yeah, because they're supplementing something that your body does not make anymore or just needs to get from someplace else
Mhm.
to allow the systems to work the way they should.
Yeah. And understand, like, okay, so Diana's on the go and constantly having to pick up things from here to here, trying to make the best choices, but you end up doing like a lot of drive-through stuff. With
Mhm.
me, I'm sitting here, like the other day, I pulled out a salad and I decided, okay, I needed protein, so I cooked up some bacon and I scrambled some eggs and I threw those in my Caesar salad, along with some onions and something else. Like I will throw whatever in to get the healthiest thing I can. And yet I still need supplements.
Yeah.
Like, nothing else is helping. Like I can try to eat as healthy as I want, but I'm not getting whatever the assistance I need for the ADD. But a
Right.
nootropic can do it. And
Yeah.
hopefully Fix is going to do it. Hopefully it'll fix it. Anyway,
If it's gonna fix it.
yeah.
And so if you're one of the people that needs to know all the science and the studies and all that and understand it, and I know Samantha is, there if you reach out to us, we can give you our link, but there what a big part of what's in that link are um, naturopath, I can't think of the name of the doctors that are
Holistic,
helping with holistic, but something with an F.
naturopath, not fun
Functional. Functional.
functional?
So
Okay.
some of the people that are on that speak on the little clips that are a part of the website talk about how they did all the research and they see how that can work and they understand. So there's a lot of there are white papers that have the studies and there are also experts, we're not experts,
Yeah.
um, experts talking about how impressed they are with it. And what I found really funny is most of them were asked by a friend that said, "I know you're into this stuff. You want to check this out." And they're like, "Yeah, no, no, not another thing, not another thing." And then once they really started looking into how it works, they were like, "Hmm, this is pretty amazing."
Well,
Well,
and you just said something interesting. You know, we all do this, not another thing. Like I was not going to try another, like I was just like,
I
no,
wasn't
I
going to
know
either.
this works. The thing is, it's not, don't think of it as the latest, greatest. We are constantly learning new things. We're constantly becoming more aware. Our diets are shifting. Our food sources are shifting.
And
Our
it's another
bodies,
tool in your toolbox is the
well,
way I kind of look at it
but
too.
our bodies literally, the energy of our bodies, the makeup, what it requires, going into the woo with the ascension,
Yes.
that's shifting. So our needs are all shifting. So when we say, oh, here's another thing, okay, try the next thing. Don't sit there and go, oh no, like I'm not going to look at that, or I'm done with all this stuff. You're never done with supplements. They
Yeah.
are critical to your well-being, and it is a part of the whole rainbow of tools that you were just mentioning, that are amazing if you will embrace it.
Well, and apparently hops has been a thing. And it's the hops that you make beer out of.
For
But
a long time going back.
but hops have been beneficial for a really long time.
Mhm.
What's new and different about this is that the mature hops do different things than if you get the immature. I don't even know what you would call them. Um,
The
and
baby hops.
they've known about it for a long time, but the extraction process was so expensive that they didn't figure out how to corral it so it can be something that's reasonable and something that works for everyone and it's an easy thing to do. So
Yeah.
that's been the whole, I mean, I think 40 years, 50 years or whatever. They've known the benefits of it. They
Wow.
just haven't been able to figure out a delivery system and a way to get it to people that's reasonable expense, a reasonable
Huh.
way.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's interesting because I I didn't even think about that, because like with moringa, it took them figuring out how we can dry this out and maximize the nutrients so that you're getting enough of a benefit so you don't have to
That it
have,
makes it worthwhile.
yeah, a
Yeah.
truckload of it. You can have, uh you know
Little
a
pocket.
cooper full of it, it
Yeah.
still requires a bit,
Yeah.
but it's, that's also that whole thing of, the next thing. It's the technology that's in play that gets better and better. I mean, when we talk about it, we're going to end up supplementing food with a little pill at some point that gives, that feeds our mitochondria exactly what it needs, and we won't require much of, we still need roughage and stuff like that with the way our bodies currently are.
Yeah.
um but yeah, so it just, I don't see how you could poo-poo this stuff, like how you would not embrace this stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so don't we're not yeah, we're not going, "Oh my God, another." We're saying, "Here's something that could potentially, what we're seeing could potentially be, even better." And it's
Well, and
always,
I'm excited as time goes on that you and I can speak to it because we can both speak to the moringa and
God,
what
yeah.
it's done for us over the last, how long have we been doing it? A year or maybe
Dude,
more?
we've been doing it 2,
Two
maybe 2
years.
and a half years? Maybe.
Maybe.
It's been
It's
quite a
been a long
while.
time, but and we you could kind of feel the difference right away, but it just got better and better and better. And so
Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling like Fix is going to be the same kind of thing. Like I can tell a difference after 2.5 weeks,
Mhm.
but according to all the other people that have been using it for a longer time, the longer you're on, the more benefit you feel.
Well, and that's because y- it's supporting your body's processes, and your body doesn't just like, okay, so interesting thing that I was learning with GLP-1, it works so quickly because it's tricking your body into starvation mode, and that's why you drop the weight so quickly. um there's a whole thing behind that, but that was the basic thing I got out of the conversation. Whereas, processes like this, truly good supplements, they work. alongside your body's systems, and they slowly, like, to calibrate, to get, like, everyone, eh, or not everyone, so many people say, okay, I have a problem with my thyroid, and they know, like, that is a balancing system in your body to figure out how much do whatever the medicine they give you for thyroid, how much do you need and how long, it takes a while for things to balance out. And
Yeah.
then what happens? You age a little bit more, something, or you've eaten something, or your body, your environment changes, and all of a sudden there's a whole new chemical process going in your body. So your body's constantly trying to find the homeostasis. It it's not, none of it's a quick fix.
Well, and I think that it's really funny that I mean, all of us are ready to, okay, give me the shot, give me the Ozempic, give me this, give me that.
Fix it
When
quickly.
when the pharmaceutical industry puts their mind to it, we're all okay. We're all on board with it. But really, when you look to nature, that's where we should be. That's where we should be focusing our energy. But the advertising dollars have not been there for that. So,
Well, and unfortunately, I think it's when commercial, or not commercial, when the corporate world entered into health, into
mhm.
medicines, and that goes back to, what is it? Is it Rockefeller, or is it the other guy? It's not Rockefeller. It's the other guy, one of the titans of industry that
Okay.
wanted to utilize stuff, that the byproducts of petroleum. And
Yes.
so then they started testing that stuff and came out with these chemicals that seem to help the body. And then they basically bought up all of the, it's not Rockefeller. What is the other guy's name? Anyway, then they bought up the medical schools, and that, so they started, going, okay, you need to learn about pharmaceuticals. Here we go. And it
Yeah.
became part of the education. So that's why when I say go talk to your doctor, well, most doctors, they don't even they spend, I think it's 1/4 of their education on nutrition, period. So they
Okay.
don't even really understand about nutrition. And
Yeah.
then on top of it, they're staying in their lane, and they're not really taught about pharmaceuticals, because if they knew all the side effects and what it actually does to you, I think that would go against their Hippocratic oath,
I would
in
think so
all
too. I agree
honesty.
with you.
So I think that there is a wall of ignorance that goes on there,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But anyway, you got to advocate for yourself. You've got to try stuff out, understand what works best for your body at any given stage of life, and go from there. So try these things. When people say, "Hey, I think I found something good," give it a try. See if
Yeah.
it works.
Well, and I think they don't even know everything that it can be helpful with. The
Hmm.
thing about Fix that I thought is just crazy good is there are no contraindications. You don't have to worry if you're a pregnant person, nursing mother, whatever,
Oh,
there are no side effects. There are no, and one of the things on the website is a pharmacist who's talking about how important it is to make sure that it doesn't interact with your medicines.
wow.
There are no medicine, he couldn't find any. He
Geez.
said he started with about 50, then he went to 100, then he went to 200, then he went to 300. There are not drugs that it interacts with.
That and I think, you just said, like, there's so many benefits you're not aware of. Do you realize, I mean, when I bring your attention to it, because I know every once in a while we've talked about this, we don't snack like we used to. We don't have the cravings like we used to. I might do it out of boredom, or I might do it because it's a special occasion,
Mhm.
but I can go through a whole day and just actually have control over what I'm eating.
Yeah, and I don't have the desire for the junk. 'Cause my body's talking to me. "Oh, he likes moringa. Give me some more like this."
Yeah, it's really, and this is truth. I mean, like, this is truth. It's just,
Mhm.
it when you get your body into that frame, you like, it makes such a difference, and it's not a chemical that's doing it to you. It's your
Well, and I don't
body.
know about you, but fight or flight leads has led me to snacks
Oh, yeah.
over the years. You know, like that's the
Comfort.
soothing thing. So when you're stimulating the vagus nerve and you're not in that fight or flight, your body's not in that, you don't feel like you need that comfort
Yep.
food or whatever.
Well, I'm
Pretty
hoping that,
interesting.
yeah, I'm hoping that, for anybody who's listened in on this conversation, because, we talk about all kinds of different things. And like we said, one of the things is the products that we use that help us to be in a more balanced state. And I really love this conversation because we're sharing with you. I mean, these are conversations that Diana and I have had back and forth because we're constantly going, so what do you think about, like when she said, "Oh, I'm going to start this," I'm just going, I went through all of those things of, yeah, I'm just going to stick with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
and that's
still,
the way I felt before I tried it too. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's your natural inclination,
Mhm.
not another thing.
Yep.
But if you can find another thing that's really going to be helpful, let's do it.
And just know, folks, that you're mainly going to find this stuff through MLM. You're
Mm,
not going to find this through the normal commercial routes because a lot of that, your food is controlled by like the major, like Kraft, but Kraft is owned by something else, I think. I mean, most our food
General Mills, I
system,
think, owns everything.
who?
General Mills.
Well, no, it's like BlackRock and companies like that that
Yeah.
control the majority of there is one major, I can't remember who it is. There's one major corporation. I don't think it's BlackRock. I can't remember who it is. Ag Foods, I can't remember. Anyway, who control the majority of our food in this whole system now. It's just all broken down into, you think it's these different companies and it's
Mhm.
really not. And
Yeah.
so the only way you're going to get these other things that are outside of that system is through entrepreneurs who are willing to step up and bet their savings, you know, on, hey, I think I found something that's good. Let me bring it to market.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean that everyone always does a great job, as we know with one company that we got involved in years ago. But for the most part, they're trying to figure out some good stuff.
Yeah.
And you hear all of you might possibly hear the background noise of, who's making money off it and pay attention to the supplement
Mhm.
because,
Pay attention to the benefit to you.
yeah, exactly.
Period. Exclamation point.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. That's a good one to end on.
Yes.
Anything that you need to let people know about?
No, the only other thing is reach out to us or the link will be below. There are also there's a big group of testimonial things, which is really interesting. So we can add you to that group if you want to, or we can give you the link to add yourself.
Yeah.
Um, like I've talked about my husband having Parkinson's. There are people who are talking about how Fix is helping with Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Like they have like a little search bar and you put in whatever it is,
Mhm.
ADD, all of that. There are some testimonials about what they found out about it and what experiences they've had. So I think that's kind of interesting too.
I think that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I want to remind people that over the next 6 weeks, I don't know, that I'm going to be on the road. And I'm going to try to continue doing the podcast with Diana, um, keeping that going. It's going to get pretty interesting. But I'm doing the whole, I, I don't know what to call it, my
Come
journey.
along for the ride. You're
Yeah.
doing the ride.
So, on this YouTube channel, you'll see I've got several playlists. One of them is On the Road Intuitive, and I'm sharing that experience of facing my fears of going out on my own, with my minivan camper, um, and my cat, my adventure kitty Pantalaimon, um, and getting I don't really know. It's following the guidance that this just soul urge that I've had, and it's all been coming together, and I'm going out and doing this, and I don't really know what all is coming out of it. I know that it's something I've got to do, and it has to do with clearing away the noise.
Uh-huh.
and getting very focused on what my journey, what my path is, and what I can offer to my clients. Um,
So stay
so
tuned.
yeah, so stay tuned because I'm going to be popping in videos about what yeah, I'm going to be offering a service called uh, On Call Intuitive, which essentially I've derived from my conversations with you, Diana,
Yeah.
because it's
You
all
are my on-call intuitive.
yeah, it's like having a non-judgmental BFF
Mhm.
with spidey senses who
Yeah.
can help you figure out things on the fly. And I'm going to be doing that through, I think, Voxer. Maybe I'll allow for a couple of other kinds of voice recording kind of thing. But it's where somebody can just reach out to me at any time of day and say, "Hey, I got a question. I'm trying to figure this out." And that's the nuance of it. So I'll be posting things about that, and I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments below or message us individually. We're good with that.
And
Subscribe.
I love all of you that are making, are in our Facebook group,
Yeah.
um,
The KISS
whatever.
podcast group on Facebook.
Yeah, a Facebook podcast group. Yeah, there are a lot of people that are making comments in there. Hey, you'll be so happy that you're here with us. But remember, we want that to be kind of a conversation between all of us too. So feel free to put some stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean,
Ask some questions, make some comments.
we're looking for y'all to share like, hey, I'm dealing with this. I'm trying to figure out that. Um, it's it's free assistance, like life coaching kind of. We can help you shift your perspective, see a different way of looking at things. So please share. We got lots we can share back. I like that. Yep.
Yeah. Well, and I love how so many of you are spreading the word and inviting your friends to come check us out. We love it.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, I guess until next time from the road.
All right. See
Take
you next
care.
time.
Bye.
Bye.